Kelly Talbott with Lindbergh TV, and today I am going to show you one of my favorite dishes to teach. We're going to make chicken piccata. Chicken piccata is just thin sliced. Piccata means thin slices of, it used to be veal and chicken, but we're going to do chicken today. You could do either one. Thin slices of chicken in kind of a lemon sauce. So it's very easy to make, but what you learn in it is you learn to do some very important principles. You learn sauteing, and then you learn how to deglaze the pan and make a pan sauce. So those things are really important. You also learn a little bit about mise en place, getting your things together in order, because it's very important. The trick with sauteing is it's pretty high heat, and it's also quick cooking. It's a secret to quick meals. So you want to learn to saute because it's a really important technique. So what I have here, I've got my mise en place set up. I've got some flour. I'm going to put some flour on a plate, and then we're going to have some salt, and I'm going to use some freshly ground pepper. And always use fresh pepper. Fresh pepper has so much flavor, and once pepper is ground, it tends to lose its flavor quickly. So it's better if you always use fresh pepper. So have some kind of fresh pepper mill at home. So we're going to use this flour is what we're going to dip the chicken cutlets in. So that's ready to go. Okay, so we also have what we're going to be deglazing with. We're going to have some lemon juice, and we're going to slice a lemon. I want to show you something about lemons. A lot of recipes are going to call for, the juice of one lemon. And I just wanted to show you, because I actually happen to have these, how different they can be. You should get about 3 tablespoons of lemon juice from a lemon. But if you want to be really safe, you might want to measure it to make sure you're only getting 3 tablespoons. So what we're going to do is one of them we're going to juice, and one of them we're going to slice. Okay, I think we're going to slice this one. And you can slice this in rounds, or you can slice it just like the way I'm going to do this. I like to put it in half and then slice it. You see how I put it on a flat side? Because once you put something on a flat side, it's much safer. So we're going to slice this. See, I have to change my grip a little bit. Now, we got lucky with this lemon. There's no seeds in that. I don't even see a seed at all. But when you cut into a seed in a lemon, you want to take it out right away, because it kind of emits a bitterness that you don't want in your sauce. Now we're going to juice a lemon, and so we're just going to cut it in half. Take a fork and put it into the membranes of the lemon and just twist. You can see that the juice is just flowing out right away. And then you can finish it off on your juicer. The reason that you want to really make sure you do your mise en place is because this is such a quick cooking technique that everything you're going to need right away. You're going to need your lemons, you're going to need your lemon juice, and you're going to need your chicken stock. So this is just a garnish. You can make this as small or as large as you want, kind of as much as you want also, or you can skip it altogether. This is just your garnish. You could do this a couple of ways, so let me tell you about what they are. There's one is you could cut this part of it and flatten it, and then this part would be, I'm going to cut it that way because I like that. I'll cut it both ways for you. I have 3 breasts here, so. Okay, so we're going to cut it down here, and we're going to open that up a little bit. We're going to pound these later, and then we're going to take this one, and the easiest way is to come up, what we're going to do is we're going to cut it right here. Okay, so we're going to come up close to the edge of the board. Put your hand flat like this, and kind of try to get as straight as you can. Don't get yourself crazy, because I'm not good at that myself. It's our parsley jumping around. So that's 2 pieces. That's 3 pieces. So you get 3 pieces out of each one that way. And since the chicken breasts these days are so big, sometimes that's the best way to do it. And then we're going to cut right in here. Actually, I think I'll cut from this side. It's a little fatter. One thing is with chicken, everybody knows you have to be really cautious about salmonella. So you want to make sure that once you're finished working with it, everything gets washed with hot soapy water. Okay, problems with salmonella are easily avoided. So you just want to use hot soapy water or proper cooking. Both those things solve your problem. So what we're doing with this one here, I'm going to show you if you just want to have 2 pieces. And these would be larger pieces then. So you just don't cut off the small end. They're a little slimy, so be careful. So that way you get 2 pieces out of it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pound these. Okay, you're just going to put these through some between some pieces of parchment paper. We're lucky we can get them all here on this set right here. And you're going to use a mallet. You could use the flat side of a mallet, okay? Now the purpose of this is to just kind of make them an even size. That way they'll cook evenly in the pan. That's true of anything. If you're cutting vegetables or anything, if they're an even size, then they'll cook evenly when you put them in the pan. You're going to be tempted to do this way ahead, but you don't want to do this far in advance, because if you do it far in advance, the coating will get gummy. So we're going to dip it in the flour, and then we're going to get ready to cook right away. So we're all set up. That's why you want to have your mise en place done. So we're going to put it in the flour. You can use a fork with this. I like to use my hands. I'm going to wash my hands anyways in a minute. So and just shake off the flour. You don't want a lot of thick coating of flour on here. You just want a little thin coating of flour. Okay, so the pan is getting warm, but we're going to make sure it's heated first. Well, I like to put things in the order that you're going to need them somewhat. One way to tell if it's hot enough is if a little bit of water bounces, and it certainly did. So I'm going to add the olive oil. This has a combination of olive oil and butter. It kind of helps the butter not burn quite so much, but you do have to be careful. I'm going to put in this amount of butter, but I'm not going to let all the butter melt. I'm going to save out some of the butter, and that's going to help make the sauce in the end. Let's see, it's almost ready. Nice and sizzling, nice and hot. So your pan's hot to start with, so everything gets hot right away. We're going to save this and use this towards the end. I'm going to put our chicken in. Now when you're sauteing, you don't want to crowd the pan, but you don't want to crowd it. You don't want them so far apart that the butter burns, because that's what we have to watch, is for the butter burning. So I think I can get this piece in here. About a 1/4 inch between each piece. Now you don't want to turn them now. You're going to let them get a little tiny bit golden on one side. We're going to flip them, and then we're going to put them on this plate. And this is where they're going to sit while we make our sauce. And in this case, we're going to finish up some of them. You can shake your pan around if you see it burning in a little bit. Sometimes you can move the chicken into that spot. I'm just going to turn it down just a little bit, but keep it on high heat. See, I got a pretty high flame here, but it's pretty high. So you want to keep it on pretty high heat. Some stoves are different than other stoves. Some high is not that high. Some high is really high. So that's where you have to kind of use your judgment. Okay, we started here, so I'm going to flip. You see we've got a little browning. Everybody's worried about cooking chicken enough. The problem is sometimes you overcook it with all those fears. So, you know, it's good. This just needs brown on each side. We are going back in the sauce, so if there's anything that's not quite finished cooking, you'll have the opportunity then to cook it a little bit more. You can also tell a little bit about the doneness of chicken by touching it. If it springs back just a little bit, it's probably right. If it springs back too much, it's raw. I mean, that's kind of an experience thing. If you touch it when you know it's right, See these? These are a little bit, they're gonna cook. They'll continue cooking a little bit, and then we're gonna finish cooking those in the sauce. Now, if you're cooking dinner, we're just making one thing here, and of course you're probably gonna have something else to go with it. If you're cooking dinner, before we even start, we wanna do the mise en place for the chicken, and before we even start cooking, like say you're gonna have rice and a steamed vegetable, out of those two things you're gonna have. You're gonna cook your rice, get that cooking, turn it on before you start this. And then you'll be able to go back and forth a little bit with that. And then maybe your steamed vegetables. You know what would be great? Oven roasted vegetables with this. You just pop them in the oven just before you start, and they'll be ready when you're finished. But there's a part that I want to show you. Let's see here, we're almost ready. To deglaze. Okay, we're going to deglaze. We're going to add the lemon. And these are great. They kind of get cooked. See it right away. They take up into the brown dish. And we're going to add some wine. I love that sound. That's my favorite. And then we're going to have our lemon juice. Goes in. I'm going to save out a little bit of it so we can see if it's too tart for us later. The lemon slices are going to make it tart as well as the lemon juice, so you want to maybe taste it for that. So these are ready. And we're going to keep that high, over high heat. We're going to add our chicken stock. Now we're going to add capers. Capers are a berry. They come from a bush in the Mediterranean, and they're just little berries. And we find them, they're packed in the vinegar brine, or sometimes you see them packed in salt. Mostly we see them in the vinegar brine, and they add like a nice tartness too. Now this is the sauce, and what I want to tell you about this moment that we have here is when you can stop. You can bring this up to a simmer. Get your sauce all ready. You can taste your sauce, get it all set, and then you can finish your other dishes. Like finish off your rice, finish off your vegetables, get them in dishes ready to go. The table should already be set. You should do that before you even start, and everything kind of falls into place that way. Then when you bring this back up to a simmer like this, I'm just going to reduce it just a little bit. So I'm going to give it maybe 5 minutes. All right, we're back with this. It's been about 4 or 5 minutes. I'm going to now return the chicken to the pan. And I like to take the thickest ones to go first because they're maybe need a drop more cooking. And these we're just going to put all together in the pan. These look beautiful. Now, anything that's on the plate, you can pour right into the pan because it might be a little raw chicken, but now it's going to be having a chance to cook. Coat them in that sauce. So what you can do when you get that sauce before you put the chicken back in, that's where you can wait. If you need some time, you can wait 20 minutes or so. You wouldn't want to let them sit out at room temperature very long, but you could wait to get yourself all back together to get dinner together and call everybody. Maybe somebody's not there yet. So, but that's your time to pause. But as you can see, they're really finished. I'm just going to tell by touching them. You can see this one I want just in there a little second longer. Everything else seems perfect. See. Okay, now you're just going to arrange them in the pan. This is a clean dish we're going to put them in. And there's just one little trick that I want to show you after this. Right up. Okay, now this is your sauce, and what we're going to do is we're going to turn it off the heat, and we're going to take that little last piece of butter, and this is what's going to make a really nice silky sauce for you. Take this little last bit of butter, but it's important that you turn the heat off. If you don't turn the heat off, this will break. Your sauce will break, and then it'll be, it will taste fine, but it'll just be not as attractive. It won't be so silky and smooth. So that's your sauce. And now we're going to grab a pot holder right here. We're going to take the sauce and we're just going to pour it right over. And you'll strategically arrange these lemons. You can actually eat these lemons, and I may have said that, but you can actually eat them because now they're cooked and they're actually delicious. I'm going to fuss around a little bit to make it look perfect. And then you're going to take your parsley and you're just going to sprinkle some parsley on top. And there you have it, chicken piccata. Bon appetit.